What if I told you that most men are chasing tactics when the truth is this? Women fall in love with energies, consistent embodied patterns you radiate without trying. Not lines, not tricks, not the perfect text. Energies. If you master 3, you stop negotiating for attraction and start commanding it by who you are. Stay with me and test every sentence against your own life. By the end, you'll know exactly what to practice today, tonight, and tomorrow morning to make the shift from trying to be chosen to becoming unavoidable. First, understand the landscape you're operating in. Attraction is a nervous system event. Her body scans your presence faster than her mind forms opinions. She's reading your breathing, your micro-expressions, how you hold space in silence, how you make decisions, how you respond to friction. She's detecting, is this a man I can relax with, admire, and feel? Women don't fall for logic. They fall for resonance. And resonance is the echo between your inner state and your outer behavior. If your words say, I'm confident, but your breath, posture, and boundaries say, please like me, her body believes the second message and attraction collapses. That's why your work begins inside and shows outside. The 3 masculine energies you're about to learn synchronize your inner state with your behavior, so her body and mind line up in a single yes. The first masculine energy is grounded presence. Think of it as gravity in human form. Grounded presence is a calm, low-frequency signal that tells her nervous system, I am here, I am unshakable, and nothing you do will throw me off center. It's the opposite of performative confidence. It's not loud, it's not theatrical. It's the controlled power you feel in a man who doesn't rush to fill silence, who listens with his eyes and his shoulders aligned, who breathes from the diaphragm rather than the chest, who doesn't flinch when teased, questioned, or tested. This energy makes a woman's body exhale. It creates the felt sense of safety without needing to say the word. Safety isn't you agreeing with everything. Safety is her knowing where you stand, and that you won't abandon yourself to win approval. To train grounded presence, start by mastering stillness under stimulation. Your simplest drill is a 3-step breath protocol. Inhale through the nose for 4, hold for 2, exhale through the mouth for 8, and pause empty for 2. Do this for 5 cycles before any date, call, or text you care about. Lengthen the exhale. It signals to your nervous system that you're not in danger. Next, practice eyes soft focus. Instead of darting eye movements, relax your gaze as if you're seeing the whole room, not hunting for cues. Keep your chin slightly tucked, chest open, shoulders heavy. When she speaks, freeze your body for 1 extra beat after she finishes. That beat is where your presence is felt, not your words. Most men interrupt that beat with nervous noise. You will train it into your signature calm. Boundaries are the skeleton of grounded presence. Without boundaries, calm is just passivity. Decide your 3 non-negotiables in connection: what behaviors you will not tolerate and what standards you uphold for yourself. For example, no disrespectful sarcasm, no last-minute flaking twice, no disrespect to staff in public. You don't announce these, you embody them. When a boundary is crossed, address it with the simplest frame. Name the behavior, name your standard, offer the path forward. When plans shift last minute, it doesn't work for me. I value reliability. If we reschedule, let's lock a time you can definitely make. No defensiveness, no lecture, no emotional spike. That tone, clean, firm, unfazed, is pure grounded presence. It communicates, I choose myself and I still like you. The second masculine energy is commanded direction. Direction is not bossing someone around, it's the alignment of vision, decision, and movement. Women bond most deeply with men who create a rhythm of certainty. Not certainty about the future, no one has that, but certainty in the next step. Direction within dating sounds like this. Thursday at 8, there's a jazz spot with a hidden courtyard. You'd like it, let's go. Direction with intention sounds like this. I hear you, we'll talk it through after dinner. Right now, let's eat. Direction within intimacy sounds like this. You lead transitions with your voice, your hands, and your timing, sensing pace and pressure instead of asking permission every second. Contrast this with indecision, the endless, what do you want to do? Loop that starves attraction. Don't confuse being considerate with being indecisive. Respect her preference, but own the frame. To build commanded direction, you must cultivate a strong why and a short what. The strong why is the purpose that organizes your week. The short what is the next concrete move. Without purpose, your energy scatters. With purpose, your choices become clean. Take 10 minutes and write the 3 pillars of your current season: health, craft, and relationships. For each, define your non-negotiable weekly actions. 5 training sessions, 2 deep work blocks per day, 1 date, or 1 intentional check-in. Now schedule them. When a woman steps into your life, she should feel like she's entering a current that already flows, not a stagnant pond waiting to be filled. Your calendar, your sleep, your training, your learning, these are not distractions from love. They are the scaffolding that makes you magnetic. Decision speed matters. The brain burns energy on undecided loops. Set simple policies. When you have 70% of the information, decide. If the cost of a small wrong decision is low, decide now and adjust later. Train this with micro reps daily. Pick restaurants quickly, choose outfits without overthinking, set meeting times instead of polling endlessly. Direction is a muscle, and women feel its tone in the smallest choices long before it shows up in the big moments. When you make decisions, own them. And if new information arises, pivot without drama. We said Wednesday, but the show moved. Friday 7 works better. I booked us. That line communicates flexibility wrapped in leadership. Remember, leadership is not domination, it's the relief of clarity. There's one more nuance. Commanded direction invites, it doesn't corner. The cleanest way to hold both leadership and freedom is the offer then option frame. Offer a plan, specific, sensory, time-bound. Then add one option that respects her agency. I've got a wine bar at 7, candlelight and live piano. If you'd rather something outdoors, I also know a rooftop with city views. Your call. This calibrates masculine initiative with feminine choice. You're not asking her to architect the evening. You're inviting her into a well-curated experience. The third masculine energy is devotional heat. Most men never touch it. They jump from cold stoicism to needy affection, missing the sweet spot where a woman melts. Devotional heat is the fusion of disciplined desire and focused care. It's the polarity that says, I want you, and the depth that says, I see you. It shows up in 2 powerful ways: attuned attention and calibrated intensity. Attuned attention is how you track her nervous system in real time. The speed of her speech, the shifts in her breath, the way her body softens or braces. Calibrated intensity is how you escalate tension in conversation, touch, and intimacy at the pace her body welcomes, not the pace your ego demands. Train attuned attention with 2 practices. First, reflective resonance. When she speaks, catch the underlying emotion and reflect it back with concise language. If she says, "Work was insane," you might say, "Your head's still buzzing. Come here a second." Then you pause and actually receive her. Shoulders open, hand offered, voice low. Second, precision complimenting. Don't spray generic praise. Target something specific she didn't think you noticed. How she chose a color that highlights her eyes. How her laugh loosens everyone else's shoulders at the table. How she asked a considerate question to the waiter. Devotional heat tells her, you're not interchangeable. Most men broadcast desire. Few broadcast discernment. Calibrated intensity means you own your desire cleanly. You don't hide it behind jokes, you don't explode it in her face, and you don't outsource it to alcohol. You ground it. Here's a frame. Claim, check, deepen. Claim is a direct, embodied statement. You in that dress, dangerous. Check is a subtle read. Watch for her pupils, breath, posture. Does she lean in or pull back? Deeper breath and eye lock? Then you deepen with either proximity or play. Proximity. Close the space slowly, a half step, then pause. Play. Turn the heat with teasing that invites, not wounds. Keep looking at me like that and we won't make it to dinner. You're not begging, you're leading the dance between tension and release. These 3 energies, grounded presence, commanded direction, devotional heat, work together. Presence creates safety. Direction creates admiration. Heat creates desire. Safety without direction feels like a friend. Direction without heat feels like a boss. Heat without presence feels like a player. Integrate them and you become the triad men spend years trying to fake. Now let's wire these into your body with daily drills so you don't revert to your old baseline when you feel pressure. Morning calibration, 10 minutes, non-negotiable. Start with 5 rounds of the 4-2-8-2 breath. On each exhale, drop your shoulders, relax your jaw, and spread your attention to the room. After breath, do 2 minutes of eye lock practice in the mirror. Not aggressive staring, rested gaze, corners of the eyes soft. Add a half smile that you can sustain without strain. This becomes your default face. You'll be shocked how many doors it opens. Finish with a 2-minute power posture, feet shoulder width, knees unlocked, pelvis neutral, chest open. Visualize a line dropping from the crown of your head down your spine into the ground. Think, I do not chase, I choose. That is your grounded presence anchor. Midday direction reps. Choose one decision you've delayed and make it in 60 seconds. Then architect one micro-plan you'll offer today. A coffee spot, a sunset walk route, a playlist, and recipe for dinner. Text with clarity and rhythm. Replace question marks with statements plus an option. 6:30 at Bar Verona. If you prefer outdoors, I'll switch to the terrace. Let me know. That cadence trains commanded direction until it becomes your language. Evening devotion practice. Remove digital noise during any date or meaningful call. Put the phone face down, silent, away. Mark transitions deliberately. When she arrives, stand to greet, eye contact, 3-second hug with full chest contact, slow release, and a step back with genuine appreciation. During conversation, track one emotion under her words and reflect it once every few minutes. Don't overdo it. When you touch, let your hand be purposeful. Support her lower back to guide through a crowded space. Offer your arm lightly crossing the street. Initiate contact with intent and release it first. That controlled release keeps tension alive. Now let's break down what happens when a woman tests you, because she will. Tests are not punishments. They are sensory diagnostics checking if your vibe is real or performed. There are 3 common categories. The first is friction tests. She challenges your opinion. Do not crumble to be liked, and do not escalate to win. Hold the middle line. Stable, curious, clean. I hear that. I see it differently. Want to compare notes? Then you share your view concisely and move the conversation forward. The second is attention tests. She withdraws slightly to see if you chase. The answer is a subtle rebalance. You reduce output and redirect to your frame. I'm going to grab us water, or I'm stepping outside for fresh air. Join if you want. No sulking, no pressure, no needy loops. The third is boundary tests. She pokes a limit. You respond with the 3-part line: name behavior, name standard, offer path. Repeat once if needed. If it repeats again, you exit calmly. Loss of access is more powerful than lectures. Communication is your delivery system. To speak with masculine clarity, compress your sentences, lower your vocal register slightly on the last word, and slow your cadence by 10%. Avoid rising inflections that turn statements into questions. Replace filler with silence. Replace defensive explanations with ownership. If you're late, I'm 10 minutes behind, I'll make it up to you. If you disagree, I respect that. I see it differently. If you're interested, say it. I like your mind. Let's continue this on Thursday. Simple, direct, unambiguous. Ambiguity breeds anxiety. Clarity breeds attraction. Texting is where many men leak energy. Treat texts as logistics and flavor, not the relationship itself. Your ratio should bias toward plans over paragraphs. Lead with a hook rooted in a previous moment, then move to a concrete invitation. You mentioned that hidden bakery. I found it. Saturday 11. Croissants and trouble. If she's slow to reply, don't stack messages. Silence is a message. Respect it. If she engages playfully, mirror and escalate slightly. If she turns heavy over text, pivot to voice or in person. Emotional complexity resolves faster with tone and eyes than with emojis. Your appearance is an amplifier, not a substitute. Choose fits that frame your shoulders and taper cleanly at the waist. Neutral palettes, quality fabrics, and silhouettes that move with you. Keep a single signature accessory, watch, ring, or chain rather than clutter. Grooming signals self-respect. Skin routine, nails clean, beard or shave line intentional, breath on point. None of this replaces your energy. It prevents distraction from it. Inside the date, structure matters. Start with a short activity that anchors the body: walk, gallery, market, then shift to seated connection with good lighting and moderate sound. Sitting directly across can feel interrogative, offset by 45 degrees if possible. Order confidently but with consideration. Receive the menu, scan quickly, choose a pair of options, and invite a preference. We'll start with the burrata and the grilled artichokes. Unless you're craving the prawns, you're leading, not dictating. Tactile calibration should be progressive: eye contact, smile, handshake or embrace, then brief touch at the elbow, then guidance through space, then shared moment of stillness. Hold her gaze, let a half smile rise, and say something true and economical. You look trouble in the best way. Manage tempo. High energy at the beginning dissolves into relaxed depth by the midpoint. If you plan a second spot, move before the vibe flattens. End on the high, not in the trough. In conflict, think containment, not conquest. Containment is your ability to hold the emotional space without collapsing or counterattacking. When voices rise, you lower yours. When conversation spirals, you structure it. Pause, one at a time. I'll go first, then you. Use the rule of 3. Validate one feeling, clarify one fact, propose one next step. You felt dismissed. The message was short because I was in transit. Next time, I'll send a voice note to avoid tone confusion. This turns defensiveness into leadership and builds trust faster than dramatic apologies. Intimacy thrives on polarity plus attunement. You create polarity with decisive, directional touch and the courage to slow down. You create attunement with pacing and reading her yesies, the verbal, the breath, the softening. Take responsibility for transitions. You lead the move from conversation to closeness. If you encounter hesitation, you don't push. You de-escalate with warmth and circle back when the signal is clear. Nothing deepens a woman's desire more than a man who can heat the room and cool it responsibly. That's devotional heat at its purest. Desire in service of connection, not the other way around. There's a trap you must avoid: confusing intensity with instability. Intensity is focused heat. Instability is emotional whiplash. If you need her attention to feel alive, your energy will oscillate. Hot, then cold, clingy, then distant. That roller coaster can hook people for a while, but it burns out and leaves damage. The masculine path here is to build your life so full that you're never pulling from her to fill emptiness. Purpose, training, brotherhood, learning, service. These are your stabilizers. You bring a full cup to the table. You don't come thirsty and disguise it as passion. Social proof is real, but you don't fake it. You cultivate a network of quality men and women. You host, you initiate plans, you treat people well, you tip generously, you remember names. When you walk into a place and staff light up, when friends greet you with genuine warmth, when you move with quiet authority, she feels your value without a word. The loudest guy rarely has the deepest roots. Let your relationships speak for you. Scarcity and abundance play a role too. Scarcity mindset hoards attention, overinvests early, and panics at the thought of losing a single connection. Abundance mindset knows there are many women you could connect with, but only a few you will truly choose. This frees you to be honest and pace the relationship. You won't rush labels to soothe anxiety. You'll let the bond tighten organically while leading key conversations at the right time. I like where this is going. I'm not in a rush. Let's keep building and see if our lives keep aligning. That line is calm strength. Let's talk self-sabotage patterns so you can kill them. The first is over-disclosure as a strategy for closeness. You unload your life story early to force intimacy. It backfires. Share selectively. Earn depth with time and behavior. The second is covert contracts, doing nice things while secretly expecting a reward. Drop them. Do what aligns with your values and release the outcome. The third is approval addiction, the compulsion to keep her happy at the cost of truth. Attraction and respect grow when you risk friction to be real. I don't share that view, and I still like you. That sentence liberates you. Now, a word on humor and play. Masculine humor isn't self-erasure, it's self-possession. You tease lightly, especially around the edges of her self-image, but you never target insecurities. You flirt with reality. If she's in heels, those are a weapon. You planning to behave? If she shows competitive streak, dangerous. I'll let you win once. Smile with your eyes when you say it. Humor melts resistance and feeds devotional heat when paired with eye contact and proximity. Your voice is a tool. Most men live one octave too high when they're nervous. Practice speaking on the exhale. Read a paragraph daily with your hand on your belly. Feel the breath drop, then speak. End statements down, not up. Pause more than you think you need. Silence is not empty, it's charged. Let her talk into your stillness. You'll be surprised how much she reveals when she feels your attention is steady and unjudging. If you're re-entering the dating world or leveling up, implement a 30-day masculine reset. Week 1. Reclaim your mornings. No phone for the first 30 minutes, breath protocol, cold water on your face, sunlight in your eyes, and a short workout. Eliminate ultra-processed sugar and late-night scrolling. Your hormones and mood stabilize quickly. Week 2. Social expansion. Attend one mixed-energy event where you practice presence. No pickup agenda, simply bringing your grounded self, initiating conversations, leaving people lighter than you found them. Week 3. Leadership reps. Host a micro-gathering, coffee crawl, rooftop sunset, cook-in. Lead start time, menu, music, vibe. Week 4. Intimacy calibration. On your next date, intentionally slow transitions, track breath, and practice the claim check deepen sequence. Journal 2 lines after each interaction. What tightened, what opened. Remember, repetition wires identity. You don't become this man by thinking about it. You become him by accumulating reps of staying grounded when tested, deciding when uncertain, and warming the room without losing your center. That accumulation creates a reputation, first in your own nervous system, then in your social world, then in her body. If you've ever wondered why some men seem to do less and achieve more, listen closely. Those men aren't doing less, they're leaking less. They're not bleeding energy through apology loops, indecision, compulsive validation, performative texts, and late-night dopamine drains. They pour their energy into presence, direction, and heat. Every minute they invest multiplies because it sits on a stable base. Do the same. Trim what's incoherent, double down on what's aligned, and watch attraction stop feeling like a slot machine and start feeling like physics. Let's sharpen the edges with concrete lines you can use naturally, not as scripts, but as training wheels until your own rhythm emerges. When you want to set a plan. Wednesday 7:30, corner table at Lucia's. Candlelight, good pasta, quiet enough to hear your thoughts. When you want to show interest without overexposing, you're trouble in all the right ways. When you want to redirect a tense moment, hold that thought. I want to give it space after we eat. When you need to protect your time, tonight won't work. Saturday afternoon I'm free, we'll do the market and espresso. When you sense she's testing, you can throw me off if you want. I'm not going anywhere. When a boundary needs holding, I don't do last-minute cancellations twice. If we reschedule, it sticks. When you want to escalate playfully, if you keep looking at me like that, we'll skip the second spot. Say these with a relaxed jaw, slow breath, shoulders heavy. Let your body carry half the message. Your environment either amplifies or erodes these energies. Curate it. Keep your space ordered, scented subtly, and lit warmly. Have 2 or 3 go-to venues where staff know you. This increases your ease and multiplies devotional heat through effortless hospitality. Build a mini ritual for arrivals and goodbyes. On arrival, you stand, you greet, you anchor. On goodbye, you don't linger until the vibe dies. You end on a high. You look her in the eye. You hold with intention and you release first. Leave her wanting more. Abundance knows when to close the door. Performance in the bedroom is downstream of everything we've discussed. Presence quiets performance anxiety. Direction leads pace and transitions. Heat builds desire that spills naturally. Don't focus on tricks. Focus on tempo. Begin slower than you think. Anchor her breath to yours. Touch with weight, then pause. Pull back just before the peak. Look at her. Let the silence thicken, then resume with intention. The man who can pace intensity owns the room. The man who can maintain eye contact through tenderness owns her heart. If you've been hurt, if your trust is bent, reclaim your standards without building a fortress. Fortresses keep out sunlight as well as storms. Boundaries plus openness is the alchemy. You'll select better when your nervous system is calm and your direction is strong. Don't return to the field hoping to be completed. bring your fullness, and let partnership be the multiplier. Let's cement this with a daily mantra tied to action. Morning. I am immovable and kind. Then you breathe and stand tall. Afternoon. I decide and advance. Then you make a call or set a plan. Evening. I want and I witness. Then you show your desire and see her completely. The words trigger the behavior rewires the identity radiates the energies. That's not poetry, that's practice. Understand something essential. Women don't fall in love with your potential, they fall in love with your pattern. Your potential is a promise that might never arrive. Your pattern is what actually touches their life today. The pattern of grounded presence says, I'm safe within myself. The pattern of commanded direction says, I'm going somewhere worth going. The pattern of devotional heat says, I can meet you with fire and care. Hold these patterns consistently and watch how quickly confusion disappears, hers and yours. From this moment on, treat every interaction as a rep. You are either reinforcing neediness or reinforcing sovereignty. You are either leaking attention or directing it. You are either hiding desire or claiming it cleanly. None of this requires perfect looks, perfect status, or perfect words. It requires nervous system calm, leadership in the next step, and honest heat in your chest. Practice them together, and the field tilts in your favor. So here's your immediate plan. Tonight, prepare your environment. Order your space, lay out tomorrow's clothes, choose your venue for the week. Tomorrow morning, run the breath protocol and mirror gaze for 10 minutes. During the day, initiate one plan with clarity and one boundary with kindness. In the evening, meet someone you like with full attention, slow your speech by 10%, and own one honest compliment that carries weight. Repeat for 7 days. On day 7, look back at your interactions. You'll see more ease, cleaner yeses, and less drama. That's not luck, that's the physics of masculine energy done right. If you ever feel yourself slipping, return to the pillar that's weakest in that moment. If you're anxious, double down on presence. Breathe. Slow. Widen your gaze. If you're drifting, double down on direction. Decide and move. If you're numb, double down on heat. Claim your desire with integrity. Cycle them until your system resyncs. This is how you self-lead in real time. You're not here to beg for attention. You're here to become the man whose attention is a gift. You're not here to memorize lines. You're here to embody energies. Grounded presence makes her relax. Commanded direction makes her respect. Devotional heat makes her ache. Walk into your next interaction with these 3 humming in your body, and you won't need to chase. You'll attract deeply, cleanly, consistently, because you'll be broadcasting the signal that every feminine nervous system is wired to recognize. A man who is calm in himself, clear in his path, and warm in his desire. That is the man she falls for, and that can be you, starting now.